Throughout the show, we see Tony Soprano's expensive cars, watches, and gifts to people. And his luxurious house is seen throughout the show. And probably each of us has a question. How much money did he earn in a month? Today, we are going to try to find out. And write in the comments on what topic you want a video. This will help the YouTube algorithm understand that I have quality content. Tony Soprano has several businesses. He has legal and illegal income. Legal businesses, Bada Bing, Baron Sanitation, Satriale's Pork Store, the construction business, and the union. Okay, let's talk about the Bada Bing strip club. The owner is not only Tony, but also Paulie and Silvio. Each of them has a share of Tony. So the stake in this business is about $40,000 to $50,000 a year. Satriale's Pork Store brings him about $30,000 a year. Well, that's understandable because in a business like this, given that it's not even a chain or a franchise, you can't be talking about some huge amount of money given that even Artie Bucco and his restaurant doesn't make much. How much does Tony make at Baron Sanitation? In the first episode when Tony comes to see the therapist, we learn that he tells her that he's an approach counselor.
Are you in the mafia?
Am I in the what?
Whatever you want to call it. Organized crime.
That's total crap. Who told you that?
Dad, I've lived in the house all my life. I've seen police come with warrants. I've seen you going out at 3 in the morning.
So you never seen Doc Cusimano go out at 3 in the morning on a call?
Did the Cusimano kids ever find $50,000 in Krugerrands and a .45 automatic while they were hunting for Easter eggs?
I'm in the waste management business. Everybody immediately assumes you're mobbed up. It's a stereotype, and it's offensive. And you're the last person I would want to perpetuate it.
Fine.
This is the basic cover-up. He makes about $150,000 to $200,000 on this job. Yeah, we have to remember the different schemes that the top team tried, like Webistics.
Growth of value, yeah. You know, we've got hundreds of mutual funds that we can use.
You're supposed to push Webistics.
I was just giving them alternatives. Shit!
Webistics is our pick of the week.
Why? It's got a 3 million float, the competition's robust, and their technology's 2 years behind. Your stock's a dog.
We said, no, you don't fucking think about it.
Stop!
Hey, stop that! Hey, I'm still the manager here. This is unacceptable. Where's Moltisanti? I'm gonna make a call. You think I don't know who really runs this operation, huh?
Get back in your fucking office.
And for those who don't remember, I remind you, this is artificial stock appreciation. Then Tony made about $50,000 construction business. In season 3, Ralph says that the Jersey family gets $3 million a year. Only from him, it turns out that Tony's percentage here is $300,000. And when the construction was run by Vito Spatafor, we can assume that he earned the organization for $5 million a year because he was doing so much better than Ralph. That is, the profit for Tony could be up to $500,000. Fraudulent schemes. Also in the 4th season, there were house frauds where Tony had a profit of about $500,000. So we can understand that he makes good money from construction. About the illegal income. Let's first of all, we'll talk about gambling earnings. What does this include? First of all, it's the organization of illegal gambling. And if you consider that when Chris was accepted into the family, he is given a betting zone. Paulie tells him that he has to deposit at least $6,000 a week.
What time is it?
That's almost all of it. Warren probably told you about Oregon USC.
This is unacceptable.
It's $4,000 there, Paulie. I'll have the other 2 in a couple of days.
I thought I made myself clear.
Fucking college ball. But I learned a valuable lesson.
I'm not running a school here, kid.
Paulie, this is me. You know I'm good for it.
Don't fucking drag in our friendship. This isn't about that. You work for me.
Yeah, and I want to.
Just shut your mouth and listen.
I'm gonna give you a couple extra days. But it's gonna cost you another 2 G's as a reminder not to fuck it up. I make myself clear?
Tony has 6 capos. He takes about 10% for himself, and we can assume that he raises about $300,000 on gambling. In addition to gambling and organizing illegal games, Tony also makes money by borrowing money and then taking a percentage. And if the debtor can't pay him back, he takes away his debt. That includes the car and the business. Like what happened to his high school friend David Scatino, where he ended up owing T $45,000 after a card game. He couldn't pay it back, so he gave Tony the car in his own business.
Why'd you let me do it?
Well, I knew you had this business here, Davey. It's my nature. Frog and the scorpion, you know. Now, besides, if you would have won, I'd be the one crying the blues, right?
What's the end?
The end? It's planned bankruptcy.
Naturally, they provide a roof for a small business that can't go to the police, and for that roof he gets about $50,000 a year. Let's add in cargo theft and robbery. That's $150,000 a year. Also, the Soprano team organizes all sorts of illegal schemes. And for this too, let us add about $75,000. Let's also not forget that Johnny Sacrimoni, head of the New York crime family.
Seeing you again. Still look forward to working with you, John. I mean that. You want a coffee? Oh, I don't know. Oh, my fucking Christ.
Makes about $5 million a year, is something we can do on the basis that he lives in a more expensive mansion. His empire is much larger than Tony Soprano's. So given that Tony is the boss of another smaller crime family, Tony and Johnny's income is very different. Okay, so how much does Tony Soprano end up making a year?
There's the fucking money. You're supposed to be earners. That's why you got the top tier positions. So each one of you go out to your people on the street, crack some fucking heads, create some fucking earners out there.
His average official income is $674,000 a year, and his illegal income is $600,000 a year. So on average, Tony Soprano was making $120,000 a year. Okay, he was making about $1 million illegally. Then what happened to that money? It's not like he could just take it and spend it, because the IRS wouldn't let him do that. And for this, he uses the Russian mafia. That is, in the show we can see Slava.
Family. Nothing is more important.
Who Tony turns to and gives him $1 million or so to launder money. And it's all, of course, transferred through the Cayman Islands offshore. So when we talk about his assets, we should not forget that he has money offshore. We should also not forget that he always has money in cash somewhere around $500,000, because in one of the episodes he can easily buy a house on the beach for his wife in cash as a gift. And he's comfortable making a deposit of $200,000. Producers David Chase and The Sopranos. Worked with a technical consultant, a former assistant district attorney in New York, to fully understand how much mob bosses earn. According to the prosecutor, Tony's fortune was estimated at $5 million to $6 million. But that number often fluctuated because of Tony's gambling habits. These are all his assets: auto, businesses, illegal earnings, etc. Real estate offshore. What can we conclude? Tony has no problems with money, and his income is really 7 figures. We will talk about how he spends and treats Tony Soprano's money in the next issue. Of course, T is certainly happy that he earns a lot, but look how happy he is when you give him likes and subscribe. Let's help the YouTube algorithm to promote this video. I really hope we'll get our first 1,000 subscribers soon. For me, this is very important. There will be a lot of videos on Better Call Saul, Breaking Bad and Soprano.